Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to study Civics, Chapter 2, the Indian Parliament. The Parliament plays an important role in parliamentary system of government. The Constitution of India has created the Parliament of India. The image here you can see is the Constitution of India, the preamble which you used to say when the school was going on. The legislature at the national level, that is the level of the central government, is called the Parliament. So Parliament consists of President and two more houses of Parliament. Those two houses are Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Though President is an inseparable part of the Parliament, he or she cannot participate in the discussions in either of the House of the Parliament. So, though the President is very important part of the Parliament, but he or she cannot participate, or we can say cannot interfere in the discussions of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Let us talk about now Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha is the lower and the first house of the Parliament of India. So the Parliament works for the entire nation, and the Lok Sabha is the first house of the Parliament of India. Lok Sabha is the House of Representatives directly elected by the people. So whosoever the representatives are, they are elected by the people directly. That means the common people can take part in the election directly. Hence, the Lok Sabha is called the first house. The members of Lok Sabha are elected directly by people from the territorial constituencies. The tenure of Lok Sabha is 5 years. The elections take place after every 5 years. The constituent states in India get seats on basis of their population. For the purpose of elections, the state is divided into territorial constituencies. Now, for example, if we take our own state, Maharashtra, Maharashtra is further divided into different parts. Example, district, zillas, towns, villages. And the people living in those places can take part directly in the elections of the representatives of Lok Sabha. These elections are known as general elections. Lok Sabha is the representative body of the citizens of the country. As per the constitution, there can be a maximum of 552 members in the Lok Sabha. To ensure equal representation to all sections of the community, some seats are reserved for members belonging to scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. In case there are no representatives from the Anglo-Indian community, the President can appoint 2 members from this community to the Lok Sabha. Let us know about Rajya Sabha now. The upper and the second house of Parliament is the Rajya Sabha. The members of Rajya Sabha are indirectly elected As the name suggests, Rajya Sabha gives representation to 29 states and 7 union territories in India. That means in India we have 29 states and 7 union territories. And Rajya Sabha do the representation of these states and union territories. Thus, members of Rajya Sabha work as representatives of the constituent states. The total membership of Rajya Sabha is 250 members. Amongst them, 238 members. That means out of 250, 238 members are elected from the constituent states and union territories. Rajya Sabha is never dissolved completely. Hence, it is called a permanent house. Any person contesting for the elections of Rajya Sabha must be an Indian citizen and he or she must have completed 30 years of age. Rajya Sabha never dissolves completely means 1/3 members of total membership of Rajya Sabha who have completed their tenure of 6 years retire after every 2 years and equal number of new members get elected again. Because the limited members of Rajya Sabha retire step by step, Rajya Sabha can function continuously without any pause. That is why it is said that it never dissolves. It works continuously. So children, members of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha are known as members of Parliament, that is MPs. MPs try to resolve the queries and complaints of their constituencies by raising questions in the Parliament. Government allocates them funds to carry out development activities in their respective constituencies. So the MPs survey their areas and find out what are the difficulties or problems the people are facing, and they take their queries to the Parliament. And if government thinks that they should help them and give them funds to develop the activities what they have brought, government helps the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Pune Lok Sabha constituency is one of the 48 Lok Sabha parliamentary constituencies in Maharashtra state in western India. Girish Bapat is an Indian politician and a member of Parliament in the 17th Lok Sabha. So children, let us talk about the functions of Parliament. Formulation of laws. In order to achieve welfare of the people and the objectives of the Constitution, the Parliament has to formulate new laws. Formulation of laws means formation of new laws. Why they have to form new laws? To achieve welfare of the people and bring about the objectives of the Constitution. Next is control over Council of Ministers. The Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers are drawn from the Parliament, and Parliament exercises control over them. So who become the Prime Minister and Council of Ministers? It is from the Parliament itself. The Prime Minister and Council of Ministers are chosen. It is the responsibility of the Parliament to see that the Council of Ministers does not disregard the Parliament and functions under its supervision. The process of formulation of laws has been described in the Constitution. In the accordance to the procedures, the Parliament fulfills this primary and important responsibility. So the Parliament have to have a control over the Council of Ministers. Their work is supervised under the Parliament. Next is amendments to the Constitution. The meaning of amendment is a minor change or addition designed to improve a text, piece of legislation, etc. So amendment means a minor change. Constitution Amendment Bill is considered to be an important bill. Now here the bill means a draft of a proposal law presented to a parliament for discussion. So children, a change is always brings betterment of the society. So minor changes can help the society to develop. The Constitution mentions various ways of amending the Constitution. They are: few provisions in the Indian Constitution are amended by simple majority of the Parliament. Some provisions require special majority, that is 2/3 of the Parliament. Few other provisions are amended by special majority plus consent from more than half of the constituent states. In the very first meeting after the elections of Lok Sabha, the members of Lok Sabha elect a speaker and a deputy speaker. Lok Sabha represents the citizens and the speaker represents the Lok Sabha. So what are the functions of a speaker? The speaker had to conduct the business of the house in an unbiased manner. Unbiased means no partiality. Then Lok Sabha members have some rights and privileges as the representatives of the people. These are taken care of by the speaker. Apart from this, the speaker has to maintain the decorum and dignity of the house as well as interpret the rules of daily functioning of the house and work accordingly. So the speaker plays an important role in the Lok Sabha, and speaker has a very big responsibility to play. The chairman of Rajya Sabha. The chairman exercises a control over the functioning of Rajya Sabha. The vice president is the ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha. The functions of Rajya Sabha chairman also include maintaining the discipline in the house, facilitating discussions, giving members a chance to speak, and etc. So we can say that chairman is the head of Rajya Sabha and he controls over the functioning of the entire Rajya Sabha. The discipline, discussions are controlled by the chairman. How does the parliament make laws? In our country, the parliament is empowered to make laws. To formulate them, a certain system has been adopted. This system is known as the law-making process. There are two types of bills that are primarily introduced in the House of the Parliament. They are, first is money bill, second is ordinary bill. In order to be converted into an act, that is law, the bill undergoes following process. It goes under 3 readings. The first reading is the minister of the concerned department or ministry or member of the parliament presents the bill and briefly explains its structure while presenting it. This is called as first reading. So in the first reading we can say only presentation is done. Then comes the second reading. In this, the objectives of the proposed bill are discussed and members in the House express their opinions on it. So after the presentation is done, the members, what they do? They discuss that what has to be done. They express their opinions, their views. The committee report consisting of instructions and recommendations is sent to the House in order to make the bill flawless. Flawless means without any mistake. So after the presentation, the discussions, a flawless bill is made. The bill is discussed clause by clause. Members can suggest changes. After this, voting is taken in the House. Third reading. What happens here? The bill is discussed briefly again during the third reading. Voting is taken for approving the bill. If the bill gets an assent by the required majority, then the bill is considered as passed by the House. If there occurs a difference of opinion, that means if few agree, few are not agreeing, then between Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha over a specific bill, the future of the bill is decided in a joint meeting of both the houses. So a joint meeting is held if there is difference of opinion. With the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, the joint meeting is held. After the final assent is express approval or agreement and signature of the President, the bill is converted into the law and the law is made. So it's not easy to make a law. There are several steps that has to be followed. And many people are engaged in that. You can research on the recent bills passed by the President. So children, here we finish with the lesson and the notes will be given to you in a PPT file. Now let us discuss the portion for first term exam. We are going to have 2 tests of 20 marks. The timetable will be given to you. So you will have test 1 and test 2. The test 1 portion is for history and civics. There will be 1 paper, lesson 3 and 4 for history, lesson 1 and 2 for civics. For geography, lesson 2 and 3. This time also we are going to have a multiple choice question paper. Read the lessons thoroughly. Read the exercise, learn the question answers given after each lesson. Along with that, it is very important to read the entire lesson. Prepare well for the exams. All the best.